Sorry.
Welcome to the Asian Labor Sessions, a Google Hangout hosted by Asia Monitor Resource Center. International Women's Day, or International Working Women's Day, has been celebrated across the world for more than 100 years now. On this day, women come together to demand for equality, their rights to work, vote, to hold public office, and to end discrimination, and so much more. How are women commemorating March 8th today? Are the issues behind the annual event different now, or do they remain unresolved since the first International Women's Day? We have invited 3 guests to provide us answers to these important questions. First, we have Shahnaz Iqbal from Labor Education Foundation, based in Lahore, Pakistan. We have Dian Septi from the FBLP, based in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Hi.
And we have Dolores.
Hi.
From United Filipinos in Hong Kong. So I'll go to Shahnaz first. Shahnaz, in Pakistan, what are the top 2 issues of women workers?
Well, thank you. And let me say that women in Pakistan largely face discrimination in their lives. But as far as the issues of women workers are concerned, their main and big issue is that the majority of women workers is not organized in forms of associations and trade unions. And then there are lacunas in the laws as well, and women, especially in informal sector, find it very difficult to be organized. And because they are not organized, so it is very difficult for them to put their demands in organized and systematic manners. And the second main issue is that women in Pakistan comparatively are getting very less wages. Though there is minimum wage act exists, but still it is very difficult for informal sector workers to get even that minimum wage. And the other thing is that there is very little debate and discussion about the concept of living wage in Pakistan, especially among women workers.
So the situation of women workers is particularly vulnerable in Pakistan. What about in Dian? What about in Indonesia, Dian?
Yeah.
What are the top 2 issues of women workers?
Yes, the top 2 issues of women workers in Indonesia are contract system, because it causes the uncertainty of work, wage cuts, intimidation, union busting, and also sexual exploitation. And the second issue is sexual violence or sexual harassment in working place. It's kind of a silent crime, and because the patriarchal system creates women to be silent.
So now we have video slideshow with some images of women workers all over Asia, including Indonesia, Hong Kong, the Philippines, and Pakistan. So, coming to you now, Dolores, what about here in Hong Kong? What are the top 2 issues for women migrant workers?
Yes, for women migrant workers, we have this social exclusion issue and the slavery treatment in Hong Kong because of the policies that the Hong Kong government is imposing to the migrant workers in Hong Kong, like the 2-week rule, the mandatory living arrangement, long working hours, low wages, and the exclusion to the statutory minimum wage of foreign domestic workers. All these things are affecting a lot in everyday lives of foreign domestic workers in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So in your countries, on International Working Women's Day, which is March 8th, what will you be demanding to resolve these issues? How will you be celebrating International Working Women's Day?
Yeah, definitely on March 8th, we're going to have discussion on our issues, and in the afternoon, we're going to march in the central government office to raise the issues of to end slavery in Hong Kong end social exclusion and ask for reforms in the policies of the Hong Kong government, because we believe that if there are no reforms in the policies, the exploitation, the abuses will remain, and it will go further and affect many migrant workers in Hong Kong.
What about in Pakistan?
Yeah, well, along with the disseminating information, we have arranged a seminar with women workers in Lahore. And what we are going to do, we will highlight the importance of International Women Workers Day, and we will specifically link it with the present day's issues and the realities of women workers in our country. And along with this, people tend to forget the women's workers contribution in economy, so we will highlight this as well. And we will discuss the situation of informal sector workers in Pakistan, and different conventions, and specifically ILO Convention 177, which is about home-based workers. And we will explain the law against sexual harassment at workplace, and we will discuss the overall violence against women related situation in our country on this important day.
And what about in Indonesia? What are you planning?
Okay. In Indonesia, we plan to have two demonstrations. And first is in Indonesian Hotel Square, Jakarta on Sunday, 8 March 2015 at 7 in the morning, together with another organization such as women organization, trade unions, and also LGBT group. Our demands are stop contract system and also to get maternity leave, uh, menstruation leave, safe work devices, and on March 15, in front of Labor Ministry, this hunger strike is the joint agenda of women organization, trade union, and another organization to demand the government to legalize domestic workers bill, because this year the Indonesian House representative delay the legalization of domestic workers bill, and also to demand the government to create free sexual violence sign in industrial areas. It's important because um, some of women workers are also LGBT. This hunger strike is already 18 days, held by Jala PRT, or it's a domestic workers organization.
Sounds like all three of your organizations have really amazing events planned for March 8th. We wish you the best of
Yeah.
luck and hope all your demands are met in the very near future.
Yeah.
A final question to all of you is, how do you think we can make Asia a better place for women workers?
Yeah.
So, well, Asia is such a big region, and women workers in different countries are fighting for their labor rights in their own ways. And we find it very important that the struggle of women workers and women workers themselves should be linked with each other, and there should be some practical kind of networking between them to facilitate them to share their experiences, their learnings, their achievements, and their successes. If we want to make Asia a better place for women workers, I think the most important thing is that women in Asia have collective voice and collective struggle and collective strategies. Then we can move toward this dream.
Yeah, for me, I think to make Asia a better place to work is first and foremost the rights of women must be recognized, and then the discrimination and social exclusion should be stopped, and there must be a strong solidarity among migrant women workers, and the local people of Hong Kong. And one important thing that on our end that we are looking forward to make up Asia a place to a good place to work to live in is to recognize the C189, the recognition of uh, live domestic work as work. Yeah.
Dian, how do we make Asia a better place for women workers?
Uh, for me, Happy International Women's Day for all women. Uh, sorry. Women workers in Asia should have communication and good relationship to develop alliance to win the demand like decent wage, stop sexual violence in workplace, the elimination of contract system, and etc. Because it will be difficult if each country the workers struggle alone to fight against women workers exploitation, low wage contract system, and etc.
So we need solidarity amongst all workers, and we need to raise our collective voice to fight exploitation, gender inequality, and exclusion. So now we're closing, and clearly many advances have been made since the first time International Women's Day was celebrated. And there's still clearly, though, a long uphill battle for many women in Asian countries. Before we end this Google Hangout, do you all have any parting messages to our audience?
Well, for us, migrant workers in Hong Kong, we would like to congratulate every woman for struggling for our rights and welfare and dignity, and we urge everyone to continue to fight, to continue to struggle, so that we can achieve more victories.
Dian?
Yeah, I think women workers have power, and that's why we should unite and also strengthen our solidarity, regardless our religion, sexual orientation, race, etc., to fight against oppression together and get our rights.
Shahnaz?
Well, I would like to congratulate all women workers for struggling hard for their rights, and I will say let's speed up our struggle to make our states to realize and recognize the equal rights of women workers and take practical steps in this regard.
Thank you, all of you, for joining us on this Google Hangout today. Before we end this Hangout, we would like to extend greetings to all women workers across the globe. And AMRC, to celebrate International Women Workers Day, we are launching a photo contest on March 8th, and the theme of it is Working Women of Asia. And through this contest, we want to highlight the diversity of work that women do in Asia, which is often unpaid, invisible, and undervalued. And we want to show that women make immeasurable contributions through their work to our societies and our economies. And it is time for them to be recognized and to be able to work under decent conditions and with dignity. So visit the AMRC website for details of this photos competition, and also check out publications by AMRC on this issue, and the links are located below. So hope you guys join us again in the next Asian Labor Session. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.